Hi, guys. Welcome in. How are we all today? Please drop your name and where you're from and how you're feeling in the comments. So, I don't know if you guys heard, but there was a big earthquake in Myanmar and Thailand was affected too. I'm not sure if it was on the news where you were, but I am in Hua Hin, which is a small coastal town in Thailand, and I felt it. I was sitting on the couch, and all of a sudden, the couch started moving from side to side, and I knew immediately that it was an earthquake because I've experienced that before living in Chiang Mai. So thankfully, here it was really mild, but in Chiang Mai, like buildings collapsed and people died, and everyone was evacuated and out on the streets. So my friends there, they were actually all at a dance party. So luckily they were all together and they could all evacuate and they're all safe, which is great. But yeah, that's what's been happening on this end of the world. Hey, Phil. Hi, Mark and Chris, Rob. Awesome. Some familiar faces. And hi, Michelle. So great to have you here today. Now, on my other platforms, the theme of this week has actually been stretching and why it may not be the best thing for you, especially if you have an injury or chronically tight muscles. So I'm going to start by asking you guys, have you ever stretched or done yoga really consistently, but still felt really tight? Or maybe you feel good while you're stretching and you feel looser a little bit afterwards, but later on the tightness returns. Have you ever felt like that? Please let me know. So a little bit about my history. So I have a dance background and stretching was all I knew, like the really painful passive kind where you just hold yourself in the splits, your muscles screaming and tearing, and you just hold yourself there shaking in pain for 30 seconds, then you relax, and then you get to it again. So that was my experience with stretching for many years of my life. I thought that was the only way you could achieve flexibility. But boy, was I wrong. Later on, I found out about somatic movement. So today I am going to go over the difference between stretching and somatic movement. And by the end, you'll understand why stretching alone often does not solve chronic pain and tightness in your muscles. I will actually guide you through an example later on so you can actually feel the difference yourself. So let's start with the key differences between stretching and somatic movement. So with stretching aims to lengthen your muscles by pulling on them. So basically with force. Stretching is often passive, although it can be active as well. Passive means you just hold the position. Stretching works on the tissue itself, so it works on the muscle, but it doesn't change the state of your nervous system. And I don't know about you, but all my experience with traditional stretching is that it is often quite painful and unpleasant. Like it doesn't really feel good for my body anyway when I do it. So now let's go over what somatic movement is. And I'm talking about somatic movement in a rehabilitation context rather than an emotional release context. So somatic movement focuses on rewiring your nervous system, bringing your body from a state of survival, fight or flight mode to rest and digest. So how I teach somatic movement is I use gentle, slow, and active movements to release the tension and stress from your body rather than trying to force the length through the muscle. So somatic movement works with the nervous system to create lasting changes in flexibility because it brings you from fight or flight mode into a calm rest and digest mode, which allows your muscles to globally relax everywhere in your body. And the main difference and most important difference for me is that somatic movement actually feels good on the body. So now I'm going to go over why stretching alone tends to not really work if you have chronic pain or tightness. So if one of your muscles is constantly tight, it's often because your brain is keeping that muscle contracted to actually protect your body. There's usually an underlying injury in the area. So your body is trying to tighten up your muscles to guard this area to make sure that you don't injure it anymore. Now, unfortunately, most people make the mistake of trying to stretch the area or go for a massage. So I hear this time and time again. Chronic pain clients will come to me and they say they've tried stretching and massage, and they say that it felt good at the time, but then the pain got worse within the next few days. And this is because pulling on a tight muscle or rubbing on it in the case of a massage, if that muscle is trying to protect you and you go and rub and stretch it, it can push your body further into that stress and injury mode. So the muscle actually gets tighter because it's trying to protect you even more. So instead, my philosophy is to actually teach your brain and body to release the tension instead of forcefully stretching or rubbing the area of pain. And that is where somatics comes in. So I know that this is probably not something that you've heard much of before. I want to give you a real life example of what happens when you switch from stretching to somatic movement. So I had an online client, his name is KD, and he had chronic back pain. And I'm talking like over 20 years, multiple car accidents. It was affecting his work. He was taking painkillers every single day. So we only worked with somatic movement to calm down his nervous system and rebalance everything in his lower back. We didn't do any stretching. So a few months into the program, he actually sent me a text with a photo of him touching his toes. And he said that he had not been able to touch his toes in at least 5 years. And this is crazy because we did not do any stretching at all. We only did somatic movement that just involved his lower back, not his hamstrings or legs. And I also never touched him physically. So that goes to show the power of somatic movement and what can happen when you actually work on your nervous system rather than trying to force things. I want to show you guys an example. I want you to stand up on the floor. Now, have your feet hip width apart. Do not lock your knees back. Never ever do this. This is terrible for your knees and back. Keep your knees soft, slightly bent. And now I want you to just try and touch your toes. Do not bend your knees. Keep them at a soft bend. Touch your toes and just notice the sensation in your hamstrings. About how far can you get before your hamstrings start to hurt and tighten up? Now just note that position. If you do a traditional hamstring stretch, what you would do is you would hold that forward fold for 30 seconds. You would be in pain, and then you would release, stand up again, relax for a little bit, and then you'd go all the way forwards into that forwards fold again. Hold that for another 30 seconds. Come back up, relax, and then rinse and repeat for 2 to 3 minutes. That is the old way of stretching. And I don't know about you, but I just find this to be so uncomfortable for the body and it hurts. Now, let's do my somatic version of stretching out your hamstrings. Laying on your back, we're going to start with 3 deep breaths to calm down your nervous system. Place your hands on your belly. Now big inhale and feel your belly rise up to the ceiling. And now exhale out through your mouth, releasing the tension. Deep breath in. And out. And one more. Now roll your head from side to side, letting your head go nice and heavy. Just release any tension from your forehead, your jaw, and your neck. And let your body go limp and heavy. And be still. You're going to wrap your hands around your left leg. So bring it up into the air. From here, you're going to straighten out your leg just to the point where you start to feel that tension in the hamstring. Just a little bit of discomfort. Now you're going to exhale and bend the knee slightly. And inhale and straighten that leg just to that point of tension. And exhale, bend the leg slightly. And inhale, straighten the leg. And you're just going to continue like this, moving your leg and your breath in time. Make your breaths deeper. Inhale to straighten. And exhale to bend slightly. And notice how you can go a little further every time you straighten your leg. Always listen to your body. Never force or push it past where it needs to go. And if you're feeling shaking in your leg, that is all of the stress and tension releasing from the muscle. And I would rather shake to release than force something into pain. And last one, see how far you can straighten that leg on your inhale. And exhale. Good. And relax your leg down. Take a moment here to feel how different your left leg feels compared to the right. A deep breath in and exhale out through your mouth. Now let's do the right leg. Clasp your hands around your thigh and just slowly straightening out that right leg to the point where you feel that muscle become tight. Now exhale, bend your legs slightly. And inhale, straighten your leg. Exhale, bend. Inhale, straighten. And continue deeply breathing and moving at the same time. Just enjoying this micro movement. And notice how you can straighten your leg easier each time. And last breath, make it your deepest inhale and deepest exhale out through your mouth. Notice any shaking of the muscles and carefully drop that leg back down. Notice how your hamstrings and legs feel. Let your body go nice and heavy. And we're going to end with some breathing. As you take a deep breath in, look up, pointing your chin at the ceiling. As you exhale, bring your head back to neutral. Inhale, chin to ceiling. Exhale, chin to neutral. And continue nodding your head as you breathe. We're further calming down the nervous system by activating your vagus nerve. This sends the signal to your body that it is safe to relax all of your muscles. Now, if you feel like your eyes want to roll up to the top of your skull, that means your nervous system is calming down and your body is actually starting to get ready to sleep. And last breath. And exhale all the way out. And just feel that relaxation spread through your body. Feel how sleepy and heavy you feel. Just enjoy this feeling. When you're ready, roll onto your side and carefully push yourself up with your hands. We always get up this way to protect our spine. Gosh, I feel so sleepy now. And what we're going to do is retest the hamstrings. Do not lock your knees, keep them soft. And now bend over and touch your toes. And just notice the difference here. Does it feel different to the first time? Can you go further? Carefully coming up, and let's come back to the screen to discuss. So feel that you moved about 4 inches further. Wow, that's amazing. And how did this somatic exercise feel on your body? For me, doing this kind of somatic movement is just so much more comfortable. For a start, it doesn't hurt. Like, I wouldn't call it pain. Yes, there is a little bit of discomfort when the leg stretches out, but it's not painful the way that holding that forward fold stretch is. How do the rest of you feel? Chris, you were able to touch your toes. Were you able to touch your toes when we first tried? Antoine is feeling sleepy. Now I know Antoine is in Thailand, so I'm sorry you feel sleepy. Our day is just getting started and it's not time to sleep yet, unfortunately. Michelle says, wonderful exercise. Phil, by now I shouldn't be so amazed by your teaching. So I don't think I ever taught you this once. So Chris, you were not able to touch your toes the first time. And then after doing the exercise, you were able to. Amazing. So you see how gaining mobility and flexibility doesn't have to be just about forcefully stretching. We can achieve great gains in pain reduction, mobility, flexibility by calming the nervous system and by doing breath work and a few easy micro movements that actually feel good for the body. I just realized that I didn't introduce myself. For those of you who don't know me and it's your first time here, I'm Dr. Kim. I help people heal chronic pain using somatic movement, breath work, and nervous system regulation. So I have 10 years of experience with online and in-person clients. My background is I am a holistic chiropractor. Great way to stretch. Kim says you feel like your legs were longer after the leg exercise. We all want longer legs, right? That's great. Stephanie, yes, for sure. If your breath capacity is a little less than mine, that's perfectly fine. You can move with your breath, and that just means that your movements will be a little bit faster. As you practice these movements, you can try to make your breaths longer. This adds to the calming of the nervous system, but do what feels right for your body. So I hope you guys have really enjoyed this teaching. I really enjoyed sharing this with you guys. I have so much in my head that I just want to share with the world. So if you have learned anything new, if you enjoyed this exercise, if you feel different, please consider donating. Your donations help me out so much with my motivation to keep sharing for free and also for my equipment. Have a wonderful weekend, a good sleep, and just happiness to all of you. Bye-bye for now.